everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I'm here with a flip through of one of my latest journals. I've made 3 of these commonplace quilted cover journals with these fun vintage buckles. This one I'm calling turquoise because of the buckle color. So these are 4 signature journals. Lots of fun, made with all sorts of bright and colorful fabrics. So for this one, the buckle, it does come off. You don't even really have to like completely undo it, but you can. Usually you can just kind of loosen it and take it off, but I'll take it off to just show you that they do in fact come off. So this one is this fun stitched rainbow plaid kind of, and what I've done is I've stitched a little bit of the excess fabric at the end to give it more bulk, and then I've stitched it onto the buckle so it's not actually going to come off, so you don't lose your buckle. So when the closure is removed, here's a look at the fun fabrics. These are the 4 signatures that are stitched in there. And then on the inside of this one, I've used this really fun sheer lace as the pockets for the back and the front. So you can see the inside cover. So then here is your journal. So these are chunky, these are definitely chunky fun journals. So in here we have, this is a shaker card that I made some time ago. It had this little man riding on a dragon, and that is what is inside here. I've also split up one of my my June Journal Together kit that I release on Patreon throughout these 3 books that I'm going to be showing in the next day or so. This is an image from that of these little bunnies here, and I've stitched some fabric. It's a little pocket on this thistle image, which is another image from my latest kit. This is a collage tag, has some fabric up here and some birds and sort of a marsh, and this little image here is from my latest kit as well. A little shabby dabby doodah bow with some splatter. I've done sprayed and splattered pages on the white space. This is some fun red ledger paper. This is some really pretty green scrapbook paper, and this is an image from my kit. It's a large journal card, just tucks in here with a rusted paper clip. And this is like an old Victorian greeting card hand glued down, some dyed paper. This is a little pocket here with one of the images from my kit. And it's some fun paper, and I've stitched some fabric on the side. This is an image from my kit, this mushroom specimen. This is a little perfume label glued down, and this is some hand-dyed paper with a couple of fun moths. This is a collage belly band that I made on some laminated paper with some painted stamps and different things, ladybugs and butterflies. This is a journal card made from an old delineator from 1926 that was laminated, and I stitched some fabric up top. A little cluster pocket. This is an image from my kit. This gentleman here, it was a tin type. And this is a vintage field guide to flowers and some children's writing paper. This is a cute little tear or a little raindrop from a book, a children's book. And this is that's another image from my kit. And this is some cabbage dyed wallpaper. Digital. This is a collage journal card that I made that has one of my quotes from my mycology kit on Etsy, lying on a soft bed of moss, viewing the cobalt blue sky painted with thick empastoed layers of clouds, framed sumptuously with swaying trees and dancing leaves, is the best way to view nature's museum. And that's from Kankajara Noyan. This is a little cello envelope or acetate envelope that someone used to store stamps in, and I've kind of gilded it and made it like a frame for this little girl. More dyed papers. This fun botanical digital from Very Pear on Etsy. More dyed papers. This is an image from my kit. And this is like a double pocket, essentially. We have a little bird peeking out here. And so in the back pocket, we have 4 of my handmade tickets. And those just kind of pop over the edge of the pocket and hang down. And this is from my latest kit. It's Hood's Paper Dolls, and it's two-sided. It's a little trade card that just tucks on in there. More children's writing paper and the Field Guide to Flowers. This is a little tuck spot that I made from a recent video where I showed you how to do an image transfer from a napkin onto paper using cling wrap. And this is a little shaker card that I made from a children's book page and some collaging and a little frame here with sequins. It's a lot of fun. This is some fun paper from a vintage paper catalog that this company sold all different kinds of paper in the 80s, and it's really pretty, and some hand dyed paper. This is the back side of an envelope, and I've used it as a tuck spot. It says, "How slow the time to the warm soul that in the very instant it forms would execute a great design." And I did some fun inking and stamping of trees. And this is a little journal card from a Release the Craftin' kit. And over here we have the photographic album and this little nib pen stuck down. More of that stamping and spraying on this pretty paper. More of those trees stamped on the envelope. And then this is a large journal card that says, "I didn't see anyone today, so I'm wearing this again tomorrow." And it's from like a vintage sort of Hollywood starlets book. More dyed paper. And then this is just, I believe from Itkapilli Imaginarium. It's one of her little fairy tale kind of dolls, and it's holding a little doll, this little girl. And this little bird is a tuck spot here for this cute children's book page tag. And it has this little chick with a violin with a broken string, a little tag for writing. And some more of the red lined ledger. And then here we have, this is a floating pocket on the other side of my thistle page here. And so this is actually a pocket that I made from one of my digital kits called Watercolor Weeds and Wilds. And we have a moth here and this fox here. And inside there's this fun garden card from Garden Art 2002 Robert Frederick Limited, and I just thought it's such a pretty card, and it fits beautifully in this pocket that I would just include it in there, and it clips on with a rusted paper clip. This is a pocket that I made from a cabinet card that I added a hand-painted helicopter or maple seed to, so you can see some copper and purple and blue paint there. And this is just this lovely lady, and it's been stitched around. And inside we have a handmade postcard that I made with a vintage stamp. And then this is on a field guide page, so that just tucks in there. There's the other side of that field guide and some hand dyed paper. This little thistle fairy here, this folds out, there's a little button card there, and we have a tag tucked inside with this cute little illustration of this boy with a little paper hat from a newspaper. Solitude is as needful to the imagination as society is wholesome for the character. James Russell Lowell, Dryden and Literary Essays. This is an image from Tasha Tudor. So I've included a few pages of this beautiful Tasha Tudor magazine or book. And she basically did the illustrations and used different quotes. So from Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the improvisator, "The happiness of life is made up of minute fractions, the little soon forgotten charities of a kiss or smile, a kind look, a heartfelt compliment, and the countless infinitesimals of pleasurable and genial feeling." It's where someone has kind of made a word out of a word, and it's a little hard to get off the tongue. Then some fun steno paper that's like a craft paper. And a little pink botanical pocket on some coffee dyed wallpaper digital. This is a collage journal card that I made. This is from Very Pear on Etsy. This is a file page from a stationery kind of kit. And this is a collaged pocket that I made with little stamp cutouts from different botanicals and added flowers on top. on some green paper, and this is like a large journal card that's been jelly printed and has this vintage image of a bunny. A little eye framed there. This grungy coffee paper, we have this fun little file folder. It says returned to the woods, and it's been inked, and on back we have this fun text from an old book, and that just clips on there with a rusted paper clip. And over here, this little pocket says tarnished. That's from Tim Holtz. And then in here, we have a couple things. So number one of my audience cards that I've made from an old Hollywood kind of book on this fun ink paper. And then this is from a vintage yearbook. It's another little journal card. And this is a little finch here with some book spine, a little collaged pocket, and inside the pocket itself are some of my handmade tickets, and they go in here. And then behind, so this is on some of that fun old paper catalog paper, really glitzy and interesting paper. And then we have some little kids playing here. This is from an old book of art about children. And this is a little advertisement that's been glued down along with this label. And one of my button cards on that beautiful paper. And then this is a large journal card inside with these beautiful boats, some collaging, some more sprayed paper and alcohol ink. And this is some coffee dyed paper, a little butterfly, and then in here we have kind of a double or triple pocket, actually triple pocket. So I've used an Amity Bloom pocket tag and one of my image transfer tuck spots from a napkin. So behind it is a tuck spot, and I've put in this lovely little postcard laminated with some eucalyptus and other plants and one of my curious creatures with writing space on back. So that goes in there. And then in here, this is a Release the Craftin' watercolor swatch card, and that goes in there. And a little technical drawing from an old book with some flowers here. And then this I cut out of a sculpture magazine, and I just think it's the funniest, cutest little piece of art. And so I made a journal card out of it to go in there. Then we have some lined paper. That's the other side of that very pear botanical image. Dyed paper. This little collage pocket with botanicals. This is a little booklet that I made with different little random papers. And this is a collage on front with one of my little curious creatures. For some it seems to be their fate to always be a bit late, too late. More of that steno paper. Another Tasha Tudor page. We are such stuff as dreams are made on. William Shakespeare, The Tempest. And this is a cluster pocket up top here, and we have a Henry David Thoreau quote from Walden. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live with the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. And another technical drawing with a flower there. And some hand-dyed paper and field guide. More field guide, and on here we have this big envelope created from an old like bureau kind of certificate file, and this is an old ad about nature's rival undergarments, the talon fastener. And inside we have this beautiful lady here from an old Hollywood starlet kind of book, and I made a journal card with that image that just tucks on into this folio envelope, and it just goes right on to that page with a rusted paper clip. Some more dyed paper. This is a collage pocket. I've used one of Release the Craftin's word kit descriptions of Chimenage, toll paid for going through a forest, and it has one of my little creatures. This is actually an image from my latest Patreon kit for June. some floral paper, and this is from a book. Also, I think it's the Tasha Tudor book. Still the fair vision lives, say nevermore, that dreams are fragile things. What else endures of all this broken world save only dreams unknown? This is an Irish hospital sweepstakes lottery ticket that was also part of my kit for this month, and it has a plastic tab up here. This is some more of that fun paper from that catalog of papers. It has these little tiny florals, and it's like a plasticky kind of paper for making like cello bags. This is some alcohol ink paper. Popular Educator of 1890, this belly band is made from. That's an image from my kit. So is this Kitchener cabinet card. Hand-dyed paper. Another image from my kit, an advertisement here for the Perfect Pencil Pointer Company. Also from my kit is this Auctioneer and Appraiser catalog. And this is a rub-on, a flower rub-on. Some fun, I believe that's paper cameo paper. It's been coffee dyed. Some green ledger paper that's got some leafy rub-ons. This was a beautiful image from an art book of these botanicals, and I just did a little collaging down here. This image is from my latest kit. A couple of poems, The Withered Rose by Philippa Ayres and The New Blown Rose from Elijah Fenton. That's from an old book called The Gardener's Album. And this is more of the field guide paper, more ledger with some rub-on here of little sewing spools, some cabbage dyed paper. Then on this side we have kind of a multi-pocket, so I'll pull everything out. It's a double pocket, so here's some collaging. This methods label as well as this image of these girls are both from my kit. This is some jelly printing and a little bird. This is a jelly printed greeting card with one of my creatures, and that goes back here. And this is one of my audience cards, and that just tucks in here. We have writing space on both sides, and it's made on handmade paper. Some more hand-dyed paper and a little bird here. Alcohol ink paper and more from that catalog. A little sprayed page with some roses. This little image of this little girl here is from my kit on this pretty paper. And this is a little notebook that I made with various fun papers for extra writing space. Some more hand-dyed paper and field guide. Another page from the Tasha Tudor book. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. I stand and look at them long and long. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. The only gift is a portion of thyself. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Cabbage dyed paper. This is a little collaged pocket. This is one of my Sweet Pea journal cards on this fun paper. A little flower there and some more hand-dyed paper. This is an over-the-page journal card on this fun old stationery, and there's this girl on this side and this image on this side, and it opens up to some wallpaper on the inside, and I've stitched some lace on both sides. Lined paper and more of the field guide. A little text spot of a technical drawing with flowers, and this is a little sort of a little folio. You don't have to undo the whole thing because this just tucks under the paper, and so there's a few different kinds of paper inside here for writing on or tearing out and playing with as you wish. So then that just tucks on in here. And then you can take this jute and bring it around and then just wrap it right around this little paper button that's stapled on here. And that just goes in the tuck spot. More hand-dyed paper and lined botanical paper. You'll see the other side that has the botanicals on it. Some children's paper. This cute little lamb and bunny tuck spot from a vintage children's book on floral paper, and another little notebook of just fun little papers for writing on. A belly band that's made from a snippet roll and has this fun illustration of a house here. Sorry, it's upside down. There we go. Little journal card. More children's writing paper. There's the other side of that botanical page from Very Pear on Etsy. Some more dyed paper. This is a collaged kind of double pocket. So we have this fun little pocket here that has this little bitty journal card of an iris. And then back here we have some of that pretty paper. And this is one of my glove box journal cards. A little mushroom girl inside the acetate window. And that pops in here. More of the field guide and the Very Pear paper, stationery, hand-dyed paper. This is from a little a magazine. It's a little bird sketch from a sketchbook. This is a pocket made from some fun paper from your creative studio. And then a couple things. This was a little image that I designed or I illustrated some time ago of a little girl with a polar bear. And this is some stationery also from your creative studio. And it's got really lovely texture to it. It's very pretty and painterly. So those just both pop in here. Cabbage dyed paper. Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm, and that's a Tasha Tudor page. Life is short, but there is always time for courtesy. Ralph Waldo Emerson. And then in this side of the pocket, we have this tag. It has a zipper embedded in it here, and lots of botanicals and kind of iridescent paint. And then tag just pops in here. And then over here we have this little thin tag that's made from an old Delineator magazine from 1908. It's laminated and I backed it with folder and attached some fabric. I just put a little thin thing here because that's where we fold the journal. You see this is how it comes up, and then you would fold this up here. And then you put your belt back on and you just tighten up your belt. Bring your buckle to wherever you'd like it to go. And the tie is nice and long, so you can just bring it through like so. And there you go. And you can wrap it through a few times if you want to. I like to just wrap it a couple of times so that it kind of comes down at a nice length. And you can play with that however you wish. You can even trim it a little if you don't want it so long. So that is this book. If you're seeing this video, this journal is up in my Etsy shop. And thank you so much for hanging out. Bye for now.